And I think winning the die roll is going to be really important for Michael Greene. So he can cast that turn 1 discard effect and snag the discard outlet. Otherwise, on the draw, those become a lot less good. So, running through the Pox deck, actually, we'll go to the action. We have a Swamp Go, so no discard effect for Michael. And Casey leads off with City Brass, their best land, and Putrid Imp.
Casey only running 4 1-drop discard outlets in forms of permanents.
Wow.
4 Putrid Imps.
Huh. So he really doesn't have a lot. He has 4 Imps, 3 Firestorms, 3 Careful Study, 4 Breakthrough. And Cabal Therapy targeting yourself in time of need. It looks like Michael has at least 1 Dark Ritual in his hand. So he could have a pretty explosive turn here. Wasteland, City of Brass. Innocent Blood. Okay. So reducing Casey to 0 permanents, but Casey's going to start the Dredge Chain. Discarding a Grave Troll. A Stinkweed Imp. Another Stinkweed Imp.
Yikes.
And that's it. He has a Thug in his hand still. So Casey starts the turn with 0 permanents, but starts the turn with +6 in the yard. Milling a Narcomoeba.
I can't tell what else is in there of note.
No.
I can tell some not of note.
So Cephalid Coliseum is Casey's next land, and if Michael could follow up with a Smallpox, he might not be in bad shape. Dark Ritual. Sinkhole. Innocent Blood. So again,
That's
Casey
a
with
one-way quasi-smallpox.
Yeah, it's a lot of cards, but it does it. So now Casey has no permanents in play again, but the Dredge just keeps on happening. Milling, Golgari Grave Troll, Cabal Therapy, Putrid Imp. But just passes the turn out of land. Another Sinkhole drawn. Michael plays Urborg. Nether Spirit. So if you're unfamiliar with the Nether Spirit, it's 3 for a 2/2. If it's the only creature in your graveyard during your upkeep, you get to just put it straight into play. And only 2 creatures in the deck are 2 Nether Spirits.
I see a Narcomoeba and a Bridge from Below from this one.
Yep. So Bridge from Below, that's an important one.
I think that's the only bridge.
I think so too. So now that Casey has an Narcomoeba and a Cabal Therapy in the graveyard, he's thinking about using that. As for Dredgers in the yard, it looks like Casey is down to 2 Stinkweed Imps. Michael untaps and draws. Looks like that might be a Curse Scroll. And if you're Michael here, you can definitely attack with that Nether Spirit, which he does. In fact, I probably would have attacked with the Mishras as well. Unless that's not a Curse Scroll that he drew. Looks like Casey thinking about blocking, chooses not to.
Yep.
Ooh.
He sinkholes his own Mishra after making it into a creature
Very
to get the
nice.
Bridge from Below out of the yard.
I might have held off another turn on that.
I might have as well.
But either way, a nice play by Michael Greene. Mills another Bridge, and another Narcomoeba, and a So now two of the four Narcomoebas are in play. One is in the graveyard. So Casey
Beat
has
down.
one Narcomoeba left in the deck. And Casey says go. And Bajuka Bog drawn at any point for Michael Greene means this game is going to be close to over.
First scroll. Attack for 2.
Now, if Michael has another land, that Curse Scroll can assassinate that Nether Spirit. Taking out the bridge, of course.
There's a Golgari Grave Troll he's going to be dredging.
That looks like 0 bridge from below's.
I see a breakthrough. I don't see a bridge. I don't think I see a Dread Returns anywhere in there.
No, 0 Dread Returns so far. 1 Cabal Therapy, 1 bridge from below.
I don't see any Icarids either, for that matter.
No, he has 3 in his deck, too. Looks like his graveyard's a considerable size. So now Michael needs to hit a land here. Hymn to Turok.
Not a card I actually want to cast right now.
No. No reason to cast that.
Oh, is he going to just ritual scroll his own Nether
Very
Spirit?
nice.
There we go.
Great play by Michael. Killing the bridge from below.
Okay, that card does not go to the yard, though, Michael. Okay.
Which one?
The card that he scrolled does not go away.
Oh, you're right. So the judge should step in here in a moment, though Casey's in the middle of his dredge. A second bridge from below, or a third bridge from below.
They should remember the name of the card, so.
And they're talking with the judge, trying to hash this out.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
There we
not.
go.
I didn't cast it.
So on Casey Hogan's dredge, he milled an Icarid and a bridge from below. So right now he has 1 Cabal Therapy, 1 Icarid, and 1 bridge from below. And ends his turn by discarding Golgari Grave Troll after attacking. Nether Spirit comes back, and that's one of the worst draws in his deck. He draws another Hymn.
Really?
Hymns Casey.
That doesn't seem good, actually.
No.
It's better to even leave that in your hand, just so that you can have it there, so that you have 2 hymns in your hand for your Curse Scroll.
Right.
If at some point far down the line.
Yeah, I agree. Discards 2 Dredgers, a Stinkweed, and a Grave Troll. And attacks Casey Hogan, looks like down to 11. So Michael's winning the race, but not the dredge race. Casey dredges the Grave Troll. There's a Dread Return.
Returns.
Another Icarid. So he passed his upkeep, though, so he didn't return that Icarid.
Right. This is actually a real opportunity for Michael Greene. If Michael is able to draw either a land that comes into play untapped or a Bajuka Bog,
Right.
I think he'll do a lot of damage to Casey Hogan.
Definitely will. He can also draw a Dark Ritual.
Ritual, yeah, he draws the swamp, so.
Nice. So he should attack first, probably.
Now, no, yeah, he should not attack first.
Well, trigger on the stack.
Good point, trigger on the stack.
No, don't let him do it. Don't let him do it, Michael.
Slow down a little bit.
So we'll see when he did that. We'll see if that zombie gets to remain in play.
Apparently so.
Yeah. Bridge from below, a really tricky card. So Casey does not forget this time. Removes Putrid Imp to his Icarid. And is thinking about his draw step. Decides on the Grave Troll. Now, if he doesn't hit a Flamekin Zealot in this dredge, Michael has another draw. There's an Archamoeba.
Oh boy. Boink. Now remember, Casey has 0 bridges in the yard. No, it's gone now. Did he get a new one? Oh, he just got a new one on that flip.
Yeah, he did. That's a bridge from below. So if Casey wants right now, he can flash back that Dread return, returning Angel of Despair or Sphinx of Lost Truths. And if he returns Sphinx, might be ugly for Michael. Oh, never mind. There is a Zealot. Must have been milled very early, and that's enough to kill Michael Greene. So unfortunately, couldn't find a Bojuka Bog, but post-board, this is going to get a lot better for him. He's going to have 8 dedicated hate cards in his deck. 4 Bojuka Bog, 4 Leyline of the Void. He can even board an Engineered Plague if he wants to deal with zombies. Could happen. Can also kill Narcomoebas before they even get a chance to do their thing. I believe that's a Spirit. So,
on the other side of the table, Casey Hogan, he's kind of got some of the traditional answers of bounce. Chain of Vapor for Leyline. It's possible that he might use a card like, Elish Norn as a tutor target against Nether Spirit, but that seems like it's not necessary. Like, the fight on the ground here, it's going to be about Graveyard Hate, and answering a card like Nether Spirit really isn't going to be, I think, the way he's going to make this work.
Right. 4 Chain of Vapor are going to be his primary weapons if he thinks that Michael's siding in Leyline, which I think facing a mono black deck, you have to assume that you are.
Yeah. I actually also think it's possible he might bring in an extra Dread Returns, just because that would give him more cards in his yard that he'd be able to use, if...
When his hand's being disrupted?
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of. Yeah, I like that. I think for cuts, let's see, what is Casey going to be able to cut from this dredge deck here?
Firestorm does not seem like it's terribly necessary for how his deck works.
Right. Especially against someone like Michael, and being on the draw, he'll just be able to go turn 1, no land, discard. Because Michael's not going to present him with a fast clock at all. So he can take the time to do that. And Firestorm's only ever really going to have 2, maybe 3 targets. So I definitely like that. Cutting the Firestorms. I think you can also cut some of your Dread Return targets. Some of the unnecessary ones, like Angel of Despair. Probably never going to be returned. I think he's usually going to be targeting Sphinx of Lost Truths or Flamekin Zealot. So he'll just trim some cards, maybe the Firestorm, maybe a Cabal Therapy, something like that. As for Michael, he wants to cut a lot of his cards. He's definitely cutting for him to Torok. That card is awful against a dredge deck. As for the rest, he has a lot of cards that are marginal. Smallpox, Thoughtseize, Sinkhole,
Cursed
Inquisition, Curse Scroll. These are all cards that are just sort of filler against dredge. They're not particularly effective. So Michael's going to be able to bring in 4 Leyline, 3 Engineered Plague. Could even bring in something like a Spinning Darkness to interact on 0 mana if he wants to.
I definitely think Liliana goes first. I think that's the worst card in his deck against dredge.
Good point. Liliana
It's expensive, and then having your opponent discard whatever they want.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. That one too. So he has a ton of cards to take out. It'll be up to him which ones he thinks are the least bad. Him and Liliana for sure.
And, I'm not sure about him, honestly, because I would have been on your camp for him, but I know I saw Jerry Thompson beat Dredge in the top 8 at a Star City Games event running a bug control deck where he had him, he kept it in, and he was basically of the opinion, not all of their cards are dredgers, and if I get the right ones at the right time,
right,
especially I can just get lucky.
Especially turn 1 with Dark Ritual. I can get on board with that. Sinkhole's probably less effective than him. And Curse Scroll is glacial, of course.
I mean, the only real power that Curse Scroll allots you is being able to kill your own creature to get bridge from below.
Right,
I think you can do that in other ways. Like, for example, Spinning Darkness is a way to go about doing that.
Yeah, I think Spinning Darkness is going to be really good for Michael. instant speed, 0 mana, kill your own creature can really just take Casey by surprise, especially if Michael understands how Bridge works. When Casey goes to flashback the Dread Return, he can respond with Spinning Darkness and make him get 0 tokens. If you're not familiar with the Spinner, as sometimes people call it, it's 5 mana instant, alternative casting cost, remove the top 3 black cards of your graveyard from the game, deals 3 to a creature, and you gain 3. So 0 mana creature kill.
Yeah, 6 mana. 6 mana.
6 mana?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My fault. 6 mana. Either way, probably not going to be hard cast. So Michael's going to be aggressively mulliganing, or at least should be aggressively mulliganing in this match, to find his ley lines, to find his Bajuka Bogs, to a lesser extent, stuff like Engineered Plague and Dark Ritual. So who do you think is favored post-board?
I mean, I actually think that Michael has a lot of weapons, but his way to get to them is clunky. He has to use the draw phase.
Right.
He's got no extra draw engines of any kind, and so he's probably going to have to mulligan pretty aggressively. But if he does mulligan aggressively, he's going to have a pretty big advantage. I think that he's probably going to win maybe about something like 2/3 of the sideboarded games. But unfortunately, that puts him at 4/9 of the of the match.
Right.
And so I think he's just a slight dog here to Casey for the next 2 games.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, the thing about it is, Casey doesn't need to really get that lucky. He really doesn't. Dredge is so powerful, so fast, that it can just take over and kill you before you have time to find your sideboard cards. So here we go. Looks like Casey shuffled up. Michael's still shuffling. Make sure his deck's randomized. Hopefully, those Wajuka Bogs and Ley Lines aren't all in the same place. Do you think Casey wants to be on the draw here? So we can go end of turn discard?
You know, we did see a Dredge deck, and again, I think this might have been the same one where where Jerry Thompson did play against Dredge, where they actually chose to be on the draw every time. But I'm not sure if that's legitimate or not in terms of a strategy, but I know at least some people do think so.
Right. I think I was maybe a little more to fight against a Force of Will deck and a Mental Misstep deck.
He actually actively had that as his plan to Dredge. Like, that was
versus everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said he drew against everyone.
Huh. In a format like Legacy. Wow.
Like I said, I don't know if that's legitimate or not. That was just what he said he did.
So Michael making sure all the decks are shuffled here. Putting all those Narcomoebas on the bottom. Not purposely, of course.
Okay, replacing a sleeve. One of my favorite things to do when I find I have a sleeve that is not up to snuff is to just destroy that sleeve so that I don't accidentally reuse it.
Yeah, just rip it up. I just got a message from a geologist watching on the live stream. He can appreciate how glacial Curse Scroll is. Yeah, it's nice. So here we go. Finally presented here. And shuffling up. Two players having a laugh. I think Casey realizes how lucky he got to win that game, because if he knows Reed Duke's deck, he knows that there are four Bajuka Bogs in it. That card at any point would have just completely destroyed him. And
Michael Greene pushes forward, gives him the deck.
Here we go.
Attention players who are registered for $10 draft for London. Please report to the red side of the
7.
where your judge will be waiting for you.
Do you know what they're talking about here?
This and then that and then this.
And then that. So 1, 2, 3,
See,
4,
this
5,
is what
6,
this
7.
did, and then that happens.
Oh, is that how that works?
Then that is what happens, but that's what this was going to do.
Oh, okay.
And if you notice on the other side of the table, Casey mostly being quiet. Just, okay.
Yep. Let's play Magic.
Let's play cards. In the back, you can see Tony Chu behind Michael Greene on the right.
And on the left, a man that looks like he has no shirt on.
He's a juggalo.
Yep.
Or actually, his opponent's a juggalo. Swamp, Curse Scroll.
Wow. Not a strong start for Michael Greene, but I do see a Bajuka Bog. So that's why he kept this hand.
Look at that chain.
Triple chain of vapor.
Chain.
So Casey's first turn is simply spent discarding his Stinkweed Imp.
Now, if I'm Michael, I draw and bog right away.
Really? I don't think I do.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
You don't want to let that chain start. I mean, that could be the only dredge card that Casey has.
And we'll see. Maybe it is. Curse Scroll.
Careful study.
Careful study. Draws Putrid Imp and Putrid Imp. Uh-oh.
Chain.
Discards
This
Chain
card's
of Vapor.
a chain and...
A Firestorm.
Yeah, he does not have anything else.
Wow.
That was it. That imp was it. Always. Word to the wise, kids. Go for it. Get rid of that right away. It might be all they've got.
There's a chance you just win the game on the spot. And here is Sinkhole. Uh-oh. Casey down to 0 permanents again for something like the 4th time this match. And draws an Icarid.
Break. Putrid Imp. How awesome would it be to cast... I don't really like the smallpox in this matchup, but to cast the smallpox now.
That would feel good. And that's a Crucible.
Oh, Crucible.
So if he can find a wasteland, he'll have infinite Bojuka Bogs every other turn. He's going to waste his own Bog, return Bog.
Ritual.
Crucible.
Innocent Blood?
Had to have something planned with that Dark Ritual.
You got a blood on us?
And this looks like this might be another Bog, yeah.
Bog.
Bojuka Bog. Now that...
That doesn't actually do anything.
Right. It's okay, though. He's probably just trying to build up his land
Getting
so he
the
can
mana
use
up.
his Curse Scroll. Ooh.
Oh, draws a Grave Troll.
There's a troll. So Bojuka Bog played a little early, I think.
Well, and he, like you said, he might be just trying to get some land in play.
Right. Attacks for 1.
Is that a Cephalid Coliseum in his hand?
It is. With 0 cards in the graveyard.
It still makes blue.
Yep. So Casey Hogan contemplating his land drop. He's not sure if he wants to keep his hand size at the max, so he'll always have a discard outlet. And that is what he decides to do. Oh, there's a Leyline of the Void. Oh boy. Now Casey has 2 Chains of Vapor, but Michael has 4 lands. So he can just recast that whenever.
End of the turn, Casey uses another token. 1 left. Chain of Vapor.
Bounce.
I guess so.
Michael says, okay. That's fine. Sacks a Bojuka Bog to bounce the Putrid Imp. Oh boy. Oh boy. A nice play by Michael Greene. I'm not sure I would have seen that.
I did not see that until he did it.
That is amazing.
And remember... Oh, man. Okay,
So-
now we've got a question from the judge.
Oh, wow.
Is the Leyline still in play or not?
You know, I have to say, I don't know this one either.
I couldn't tell you.
I think how it works is another copy of Chain of Vapor goes on the stack. So I think the Leyline still is in play. Because if you remember Chain of Plasma with Swans, when you Plasma, I think it was always on the stack and you could discard.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm not positive about that. I'm definitely reminded of your comment from yesterday. Magic is awesome.
Magic is totally awesome.
This game is amazing. The mono black Pox deck versus the Dredge deck. One of the most fair decks versus one of the most unfair decks. So it looks like the judge is explaining Chain of Vapor, and the cards are in the graveyard. I'm not sure that's right. So apparently the cards are in the graveyard. And the Putrid Imp is in Casey's hand.
This is actually going to be a very interesting turn.
Yeah. Well, he needs to hit a bunch of cards off this Grave Troll.
I think I see a Bridge from Below as well as a Narcomoeba.
Yeah. Narcomoeba, Bridge.
Oh, there's a Cabal Therapy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not all the way there, though.
No, he needed a lot better than that. He has a Bridge in his hand, though, to go along with that Putrid Imp. So if he recasts the Imp, using up his Gemstone Mine, he'll be able to discard the Grave Troll and the Bridge and flash back to Cabal Therapy. So the way this game is shaping up, it looks like it's going to be perhaps 2 zombie tokens and a Narcomoeba as all Casey will have left.
Cabal Therapy, did he say himself?
It might be himself. Okay, discards Grave Troll. Revealing Cephalid Coliseum, Chain of Vapor, Putrid Imp.
And how many cards does he have in the yard? He's got enough to activate the Cephalid Coliseum, I think.
That's probably why.
Does that have Dredge?
Himself. Okay, so
no, I think that's the 7th card now.
Oh, there we go.
Got blue.
So adds a blue. Coliseum.
Boom.
Use it.
It's going to be a big turn here.
Well, he needs to hit a Dredger right now. 6 cards.
Well, he does have 18 of them. Well, not 18. 6 and... Oh, yeah. For this, he needs to hit a Dredger. There are no Dredgers left in the yard. There's a Dread Returns.
Ooh,
there's
2 Narcomoebas, but no Dredger. Fairy Macabre.
Fairy
2
Macabre.
lands.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. 2 lands, Fairy Macabre, and Dread Return.
Looks like he can draw with Sphinx of Lost Truth in a second.
He can.
And now what happens with Cephalid Coliseum? He's going to discard some of these cards immediately.
He gets to discard 3.
So he's going to be able to put the Golgari Grave Troll back into the yard again, and then be able to Dread Returns the Sphinx of Lost Truth into play and do it again.
And dredge 6 more.
So now we go, and there's the Narcomoeba triggers. Puzzling this out.
So now we attack, it looks like. Oh, no, not yet. I might attack with that Icarid first. But
I think he's thinking he can get it done, yeah.
Okay. So 3 zombies go into play. Oh, so
wow.
I didn't even see that Zealot in there. So wow. That's a lot of damage. So Casey Hogan might have pulled this one out actually. That 15 damage, dropping Michael Greene to 4. So he's going to need something like a Spinning Darkness plus.
Yeah, there are no damnations for Michael Greene here.
Nope, no mass removal. Engineered Plague on Zombie might help stem the bleeding if it was backed up by a Spinning Darkness. I'm not sure he has that right now. Bog. Getting rid of the graveyard.
Michael does not look happy.
No.
That's
There's
it.
the hand. Wow. Casey Hogan played that turn very well that last turn. Played it perfectly and managed to pull out the win. Congratulations to him. He advances to 5-0, I believe. Wow. So I think I jinxed Michael Greene, one of the model black pucks on the screen, and he lost.
I didn't think